Welcome back to Tracy Talks. This is the 4th edition. I'm here in my in-laws' house sitting on their lovely patio relaxing with family, which we love to do. I have two special guests. This is my sister-in-law Rachel from Long Island, New York, and this is my sister-in-law Emily from Oklahoma. Yeehaw! So what we're going to talk about with you today is maybe some parenting tips, because we have kids. My kids are 8, 9, 12, and 14. And you guys?
I have two girls that are 5, of twins, and then a 7-month-old little boy.
And I just have a 2.5-year-old little girl.
So what's some advice that you guys have being moms?
Well, I think one of the best pieces of advice I ever received was to just pick your battles, and kind of think about if it's worth making it a big deal, if the issue is worth making it a big deal. For example, if your child wants to wear purple striped shirt with pink polka dot pants, and they're really determined to do it, as long as the weather wasn't an issue and they weren't going to freeze or be too hot, then it just seems like let them wear it. It's just not worth the stress of the argument that would follow. Pick your battles for the things that are really important, when they're defiant, when they're directly disobeying you. Those are the things you need to really focus on, and then work on the little details along the way.
And sometimes those work out to be the best pictures anyway, when they're looking completely goofy and crazy and you take their picture. Those are the ones you will cherish when you're a little old lady with gray hair in a rocking chair.
Yeah.
What about you, Rachel?
I am still learning because I only have one so far, but I would say something that I guess I deal with is just being confident as a parent, knowing that you're doing a good job, and that it's okay when your kid throws a tantrum and you're out in a public place. You're not the first parent and you're not going to be the last, and however you discipline or handle the situation, that you're doing a good job and you're a good mom and you're a good dad, and just keep it going. And that's just going to help you just be a better parent, because there's enough to worry about without what everybody else thinks about you or questioning if you're doing it right, because you're doing it right.
That's really good.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good advice. I think my top thing is that with my kids is there has to be consequences for their actions. Like if they do something that is notably wrong, that there has to be a consequence. Because in life, as they grow up and get older, if you behave a certain way to, let's say, your dad, and your dad never tells you you can't behave that way, that is completely unacceptable, there'll be a consequence for that, then there's a possibility they'll do that with a teacher or a spouse or a boss when they grow up. And so I always try to make consequences for what they do. I agree with what you said, not about every little thing, because you don't want it, the Bible says not to exasperate your children, but definitely when it's something that's endangering them or hurtful to other people, there should be some sort of consequence. And the consequences need to be leveled out depending on how serious the offense is. I don't know, what do you guys think about that?
I agree. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
sounds good.
It's unanimous.
So I never wanted to be a parent, actually. I thought I'd just be single into my 40s, go to Africa, be a missionary, maybe marry some guy with dreadlocks when I'm 46, and just not have children. But, God had another plan, and here I got married at 19, have 4 kids. Now I'm 36, and I feel like, that I had my own plans for my life, but, God had other plans, but in following His plans and His will, my life, I think, is way better than it ever could have been otherwise. Do you guys feel the same way?
Absolutely.
Marriage and parenting and all that?
Yeah, you can have your own plans, your own ideas of what you think life is going to be, but it's always be open to what God wants to do, and you never know, it's going to be something better.
Yeah, I think that everybody has that mentality of what they want in life, and sometimes we forget to ask God really what He wants, because in the end that's the most important thing, is His will, His heart, His desires. And like it says in the Bible, delight yourself in the Lord and He'll give you the desires of your heart. It doesn't necessarily mean things that I want, but as I know Him and do what he wants for my life, he's going to change my heart so that the things he's giving me are the things that he wants for me. Does that make sense?
And that your desires are going to line up to
what he wants, you know?
as well. So.
And that's going to follow with my kids, and I can't, you know, force her to do or be anything. I just have to trust that to her and to God, that, you know, he knows and hopefully my desires fall in line with what he has for her, and yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I find that, you know, it's interesting how each kid is so different. And each one, it's almost like, I mean, you want to be fair in between them all, but each one you also don't want to crush their spirit, and you want to find out what's unique about them and kind of foster that in them. And it's such a fine line. I feel like I'm learning. Every year I learn more about how to, I remember when my kids were young, I was like yelling at them all the time and going nuts because I was like, oh, I'm going to go crazy, because I went from working and having a life and traveling to being at home and just changing poopy diapers and crying and screaming, and I thought I was going to kill someone, you know. And but I think what's important to remember, especially if you're a parent of little ones, I know you have a baby right now, is that it goes by so fast. And I know older women always say this to you, it goes by so fast, treasure every minute. But it's so true that if you think, like I was thinking the other day, all my kids will be out of the house by the time I'm in my mid-40s. They'll all be grown. That gives me another like 40 years. I mean, 40 years without my kids in the house to go do travel or, you know, do whatever, or have a career. I could go to college. I could become a doctorate in some weird thing. Who knows? Because, you know, this time that we have with our husband and our children is just, it's like a 15 to 20 year section of your life, which seems like a long time, but when you compare it to like a 90-year lifespan, that 20 years is very small. And so it's important to really be present in that, right?
Yeah, I see it. I mean, she's only 2.5, and I feel like it was just 5 days ago she was born, and she's just a little baby. And now she's a full-blown little girl running around driving me crazy. But even that, I have to enjoy, because she won't always be that, and one day she'll have her 15th birthday and be halfway through high school, and I'll probably cry. Oh, where'd she go?
Yeah, it makes it, on the days when, like, there's toys everywhere, clothes on the floor, or whatever, and they're driving me nuts, or yelling, or whatever, I have to think that I'm going to have a quiet house. I'm not going to have clothes and toys on the floor forever, and that I'm thankful that I have them to begin with, that, you know, or when the baby's crying in the middle of the night and you don't want to get out of bed because you're too tired, you have to think, well, at least I have a baby that's crying, and I can be thankful for that, and even though he's upset, I know I can calm him down, and so that's something I can remind myself of, to be grateful.
Yeah, in the world that we live in here in the United States, you know, it's so much to be thankful for, because there are mothers who don't have a crib for their baby, or don't have diapers, or can't, you know, calm your crying baby the way that we can, because their life, you know, is so different, and we have probably too much sometimes.
We have so much.
But it's true. You know, it's to be thankful for all those little things.
Well, is there anything else you guys want to share, or is that about it?
You just keep learning as a parent, you know, but be thankful
and
for
there is
it.
no perfect parent out there.
Yes, but just do your best and be happy with yourself. Know that you're going to do a good job.
Yeah, and I believe every year it gets easier, I think, each year, because you become more of a family unit, you kind of function better as a family, and it just gets better and better and easier. So don't give up. It's going to get better and better, and you're going to become a better and better mom. And the most important thing, I think, is that if you are married, that your husband is more important, and your relationship with him is more important than the relationship with your kids. Your relationship with your husband should be so tight and so solid, and then you both can give to the children. But if you give everything you have to the children and then treat your husband like poo-poo, then your life is going to become poo-poo. So don't do that. So I would encourage that as a last final thing. And I guess we're signing off. If you'd like to subscribe, that would be awesome. And then you could keep watching shows. Each time we're going to try to be somewhere different and do something different. So thank you so much for being part of my show, my sisters.
Thanks for having us.
And catch you later.